Giannis's numbers in closeout game / championship, pretty good. 30, 14, 6 assists, field goal percentage.
And you said going into last night's game that's what you expected.
Yeah, that wasn't a hot take. I'm surprised you guys left me alone on Giannis's amazing island.
I thought Giannis, I think we both thought Giannis could play great, but that OKC would win the game. Right. But no, yeah, you nailed it.
I've got a great Doc Rivers stat coming up.
Okay, cool.
Hear this. Okay, so what did the Bucks prove to you,
Well,
bro?
first of all, shout out to Giannis, not just for the great game, but that post-game. I've never seen a championship interview, after you win something, that intense. Like, my man is locked in. I'm a little bit frightened after that. He was like, we trying to win. We playing good basketball. Like, I like that, though. I like that. So, shout out to Giannis for that. He is locked in. I think, Nick, they proved they're legitimate contenders. I'm not saying they're ahead of Boston or anything like that, but they have moved from, they started 2-8 and everybody was like, oh my gosh, what is going on? They're not even contenders anymore. They've righted themselves. They've been 12-3, best record in the league since then, and they are now in the hunt for the championship, which, to be honest, is where you should be.
If you have Giannis.
With Giannis and Dame. They got they got the highest scoring duo in the league. And what's happened now is defensively, and I'm going to give you credit, Wiles, because you have been saying, why don't you play Andre Jackson Jr. from UConn? And he's not a great player. He can't score offensively, but he's athletic, he's young. And you just say to him, look, go focus on defense. Lock him down. Don't worry about the scoring. We've got 2 great scorers. Lopez can score. We got a few other guys that can score. That team is sorely lacking athleticism. And so with him out there, and Taurean Prince is a good defender, you got guys, in fact, Brook Lopez and Giannis are good defenders too. So you can protect the rim with their size, and they're huge compared to a lot of NBA teams just with those two. And then when you got some athletes that can guard the perimeter, defensively, Nick, that's what's turned them around. Last night they held OKC to season lows in points, field goal percentage, and three-point percentage. And so I think the Bucks have shown, you know what, we are here and we're going to have to be reckoned with.
And luckily for OKC, these season lows will go into the atmosphere because this game doesn't actually count.
Right,
it's not on the basketball reference page. Like I was looking up, I was like, when's the last time OKC only hit 5 threes in a game? So I went to their basketball reference schedule for the year, and I'm like, wait, this game's not on there. I'm like, oh yeah, this is a make-believe game, but it's actually super important.
They got to figure something out.
So listen, on that note, I do want to say this before I get to the Bucks piece of it. Perfect for the NBA.
Cosign.
And LeBron winning this and carrying, and then Giannis winning it and carrying, I believe now means, and this isn't a retroactive thing, I joked about Jordan not having one, but I now think, standard set moving forward, this is a thing you need to have on your resume if you're a great player. Now that you
remember, and I said, I didn't say it that way, but I said years from now people be like, so-and-so's got 5 rings and 4 NBA cups.
And I also think it's something like where it won't be as much of like how many you have, but you got to get one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like it would have been different had Houston won it this year. No disrespect to Houston, but it was
fair.
The fact that LeBron, Giannis, first 2, it's like, oh, it matters. It is indicative of something. So that's good. I do think the NBA should consider, in addition to the $500,000 cash bonuses for the players, giving the teams a win bonus in the standings, to where it's like you have a real incentive. Like, hey, man, if you finish the year with 50 wins, but you won the NBA Cup, you get credit for winning the Cup. Which
so maybe it's the first tiebreaker or something?
Or just a first tiebreaker, or just literally add a win. I know that the math then will be like, oh, they played 83 games, the other teams played 82, but so be it. You don't get a loss for OKC, but you get the win if you're the other team. Now, as far as Giannis, I agree with almost everything you said, Brew, and I was shocked at how little the odds makers agree. So this was one where DraftKings and FanDuel are way further opposed or off than I've seen on almost anything that matters. But right now on FanDuel, it's a major sports book, the Bucks have the 10th best championship odds. They're 27-1. They are behind Boston, OKC, you'd expect it, and then also the Knicks, the Mavs, the Cavs, the Nuggets, the Suns, the Warriors, and the Timberwolves. And I just think, while I don't think this is a a perfectly built team, I think it has flaws, and I wouldn't be shocked if they get bounced in round 1 of the playoffs. I think it's on the board because the top of the East is so hard. But when you have Giannis, who is playing like this, if we put up his numbers, career high in points per game, almost 33 a game, career high in field goal percentage, has taken 17 threes all year.
Love it.
So that's, that was the biggest weakness of his game, so he just removed it.
Yeah.
To sit on pace for a career low in free throws. In three-pointers. Now, unfortunately, his free throw percentage is career low. 61 is too low. He needs to be up in the mid-high 60s. But when you have that guy who cares as much as he does, you are more than in the mix. You are, after the best teams, everybody's flawed.
Yeah. So let's talk about this. First off, I just want to say off the top, this whole idea of like, oh, they're going to say that they won 4 cups and they had 5 rings, finals. I just don't think it's ever going to become that. I really don't. I think these guys want to win it and stuff, and they can be competitive and all of that. But I don't think someone's going to be like, all right, we got 2 players. One won 5 rings and the other one won 3 rings and 3 cups. I just don't see it happening, man. I really do not see it happening. If Steph Curry won another 2 rings and LeBron didn't, are people going to be like, well, LeBron won a cup and Steph didn't, that means something. No one's going to say that. No one is going to say that. If Giannis wins only 1 ring, but then wins another 4 or 5 cups, are we going to say like, look how many cups he won? I just don't see it. I really don't. And is that what we even refer to it as, cups? Like, I don't even know at this point. And that's why they didn't even pop champagne. Giannis even said, like, they kept it on ice. Like, they were, like, kind of, like, it was, like, a very subdued, if you read the ESPN article, it was, like, very, like, calm and chill and not crazy like that. Because, yeah, they won it, and it is an achievement, but they know that the real purpose is to win the NBA Finals. That's what it always gets boiled down to. I think this is a cool thing that they do, and I like it, and I like the courts, and I like the style. I'm a fan of it. Like, I'm not anti it, but we don't have to invent it to be something that it's not. So I think we have to kind of keep that in perspective. But it's still awesome that Milwaukee were able to win this, and I think it signals to themselves, it signals to the league, it signals to the fans. Not so much that they're contenders, because you should always feel like you're a contender when you have Giannis and Dame, but it signals what's the potential is, what you can accomplish, what you're more than capable of doing. I understand why, from an odds perspective, those other teams are ahead just because they've been playing better ball for longer, so it just feels a little bit more sustainable, and we know basketball just comes in waves and streaks. So just how we saw the Bucks start off really bad and not play good, now they're hot. Technically it's in the realm of possibility for them to either come down a little bit more and just kind of average out, or regress even more and have another bad streak. Like that's all technically possible. And so I understand why the odds haven't necessarily caught up, because they want to be patient. They don't want to get ahead of themselves, because they're not trying to lose money with how they create odds and betting and payouts and all of that. But I think the Bucks, again, at the minimum, because again, I think they're a contender, but I'm just saying at the minimum, they're undeniably a team that if you were the Knicks or whoever, you don't want to face them in the playoffs. You're not going to want to face this team, this version of this team. You're not going to want to face Giannis and Dame. Like you're not going to want that. Like it'll be bad news for anyone involved. So I think as long as you have a healthy Giannis, this team will always be dangerous. And again, as long as Dame doesn't start to randomly like rapidly age or get banged up himself, you are always going to be in a great situation. He will always be more than capable of knocking down 5-3, shooting 50% from 3, and having someone like Giannis 26, 19, and 10. That's beast mode. That's pretty dominant. No one could argue against that. But again, like I pretty much say in all, every one of these basketball videos, is that it's just such a long season. And again, that is why Giannis wasn't like, we did it, yeah, let's go. Because he's just pretty much like saying, like, he knows it. It's a long season, and we got our mindset for how we play, in January, February, March. Like we got other goals involved. Like Giannis knows. Like I'm trying to get rings. I got 1 ring on my finger. I want another 3 at a minimum. At a minimum. So, which I respect. I love that mentality. He's not trying to act like he just won the World Series, the Super Bowl, and the NBA Finals combined. He's like, this is great. This is awesome. I'm focused. I'm determined. Yep, add it to my list of accolades. Here we go. I got it. But now let's keep on keeping on. Let's keep walking down this path. And I love it. It's great. If you're a Milwaukee Bucks fan, it should excite you. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Milwaukee Bucks? Do you think they, what do you think they proved with the Cup title? Do you think that they are still being underrated in terms of kind of their chances to be a true contender for the NBA Finals? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.